everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Helen and I do cooking videos, shopping hauls and chat videos. Today I am doing a cooking video, as you can see, and if you haven't guessed what I am making, I am going to make a Victoria sponge cake. Now this is my favourite Victoria sponge cake recipe. It's a Mary Berry one and it is the softest, fluffiest sponge cake you can get, and it's super easy. So I've got self-raising flour, caster sugar, baking powder, butter, and we're going to need 4 of these eggs and some jam. So there you go, that is all the ingredients you need, and you need an 8-inch pan. So I only have one 8-inch pan, so I'm going to have to cook my cakes in 2 goes. It's just the way it is, you know. In an ideal world, I'd have 2, and my oven would be big enough to put 2 in and they cook evenly, but they don't, so I just do them one at a time. So basically, we're going to make this mixture and bung it in the oven. So I'm just going to let the eggs come up to room temperature. So they say to leave them out the fridge for about half an hour. And I'm going to get rid of the jam because we don't need that yet. Don't need that till we're all done. I'm going to measure out the butter and soften that up. So we want 225 grams of butter, which is nearly the whole block. So I'm just going to take, I don't think you can see that. I'm going to take a little bit off the edge and try and guess. Oh, that's so close. 207 grams. 217. 221. This is probably going to be too much now. 225 exactly. Right, that's wicked. Right, so I was going to leave that butter to grease the tin with in a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put the butter into a bowl. You don't want the butter melted, it just needs to be softer than straight out the fridge. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so I kind of accidentally melted my butter. This is what happens when you put it on the wrong setting in the microwave. So don't do that. Hopefully it'll still work. Anyway, I'm going to measure out the ingredients. Okay, so I'm just going to measure out the ingredients. This is the combination method. So we're going to put them all in together. I want 225 grams of caster sugar. Luckily, the sugar, the flour and the butter is all the same amount, so it's really easy to remember. 225. Okay, so I'm just gonna plonk the sugar in and measure out the self-raising flour. So again, 225 grams. So you should sift the flour. Any baker, cook will tell you that. I don't because I can't be bothered, but you should really. And then we have our 225 grams of butter, which I'm too scared to put in now. Right, let me just move bits. Now I've done the measuring. Alright, so I'm going to pour in the butter. And I'm just going to crack the eggs as well. Alright, so that's 4 eggs into this mixture. And then you just want to put it on, and you need to do it quickly and for not a long time, because otherwise it'll overmix. So you want to do it until it's literally combined and then stop. So we'll give it 1 to 2 minutes. Already that's combined. I'm just going to make sure. Right, I'm just going to, oh god, this thing's heavy. Ugh. Just going to make sure that on the bottom all the flour and sugar is mixed, which it isn't quite. So I'm just going to get that off the bottom. I think this mixer doesn't work as well as it used to. It used to pick it all up a lot better. Right, so I'm just going to give that another 30 seconds to a minute. Because it really doesn't need much mixing. You'll wreck it if you mix it too long. It won't be light and fluffy. And that's literally it. So I've just got my tin. I'm just going to grease the bottom of it. I'm going to use just that little bit of butter that was left and just rub it, smear it all over. Plenty of butter. It's quite a messy job really. Smear it all around so it doesn't stick. And then you want to do the same on the lower half of the inside. Get a little bit more butter. Just literally go around the inside of that with the butter. Just helps to stop it from sticking. A bit more on there. Okay. Now I'll wash my hands. Okay, so I'm just going to put my pan together and get the mix in. So you've got to remember, you're only putting half of this mix in each cake pan. Oh, that's hard. The only thing about doing one pan at a time is you can't quite tell what's half, so we're just going to have to do our best at guessing. And then just very gently just spread it out in the bottom of the pan, being very careful with it because this is really delicate now. Do apologise about all the noise. I've got children in the kitchen with me all doing stuff. Okay, so we're just going to try and flatten it so it's even and it bakes evenly. And we're putting it into an oven which has been preheated to gas mark 4. And then when this cake is done, I'm just going to repeat the same thing with the rest of the mixture, and then we'll have 2 halves. Okay, so I'm an actual idiot. I forgot to put the baking powder in. So I've just put the mixture back in my mixer, and I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder and then mix again. Try not to bash all the air out of this cake mix, but try and obviously incorporate it as well. It's been a while since I made a cake, to be fair. I used to make this often, and there's 2 of us that can't eat it now, so I don't bake it as much, but we're seeing some family and stuff at the weekend, so I wanted to make something nice for everyone else, and myself and Amelia will have an alternative. Right, I'm putting this in the oven now. So the cake has been in for 20 minutes. It says to check it after 20 minutes, but it's supposed to need 25 minutes. So I'm just gonna test it. As you can see, it's pretty clean. It's just tiny weeny bit moist. So I'm gonna pop it back in for 2 minutes. But that's all I'm gonna give it because I really don't think it needs very long. So I've given the cake 5 minutes to cool down, and I'm just gonna get it out onto a oh, I can't remember the name of it. Basically it's a rack, whatever the name is. Now this hopefully should slide off. Just gonna go down the side with a knife just to make sure it's not sticking. Okay. Oh, that was rough. Okay. Now I'm just going to try and turn this upside down. How hot. Now that cake is a little bit broken now, it's a bit disappointing, but it could be where I melted the butter too much. Or it could be that maybe the baking powder wasn't cooked or mixed in well enough, basically. I don't know. The thing is, I never said I was perfect, did I? This is just me trying to bake a cake. Probably would have been better if I'd lined it with baking paper, like the recipe says. But I don't do that. There we go. That'll do for the bottom level. So there you go, that's my terrible Victoria sponge cake. It will taste good though. So I've let my cakes cool down, and I am going to put some jam on them and then sandwich them together. I think that one will be the top one. So I'm going to use a kind of spatula spready thing. This is the jam that I chose. So for this I wanted a really nice jam. Kids.
Who's talking to me?
I wanted a really nice jam for this one, and this one was on offer, so I either buy this one or the Tiptree or whatever it's called. They're my two favourites, but this one was on offer, so I bought this one. So I've decided I'm just going to put it, this is a cake holder thingy, keeps it fresh. Decided to put it in here and then jam it, because I don't want it to all fall apart. So you want to kind of put the jam on quite liberally so it's easier to spread, because you don't want it to be like bread where it just breaks up. Right, this is actually spreading so easily. I think I can just do it with my knife, but you do just need to be really careful. Just going to smooth it over. I want a nice thick-ish layer. Now my cake is a little bit damaged down here. I was hoping to stick it back together, but I don't know. I don't want to make it look too messy by having too much jam down the side either. Right, that's already fallen down there, so we're just doing it right up to the edge. So traditionally it is just jam with sugar over the top on a Victoria sponge. I often would do a buttercream for this because it's just how I like it. It's more like a birthday cake. And that's what me and the kids like, but I'm not doing that today because I wanted to make the traditional sponge. So I'm very carefully going to put the lid on. And there we go. Alright, I've just got the caster sugar. And I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. Give it a little dusting. Just all over. Just makes it look nice and pretty. There we go. That is the finished cake.